Welcome to Continuous Testing Live. We're broadcasting from the offices of CA Technologies in Santa Clara, California. I'm Eric Odell. I'm the Director of Continuous Testing Solutions in marketing. And we're going to be talking today about how continuous testing makes your apps rock. But very specifically, we're going to be talking about how to convert legacy testing scripts to open source JMeter and Selenium. And I have a few guests with me today. Can you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Rafael Butbul. I'm performance testing domain expert in BlazeMeter.
I'm Sofia Palamarchuk. I'm the CEO at Abstracta. We are CA partners.
Great. And you know, in a previous video, we were talking about the fact that there's like 52% of the of enterprises that have been surveyed that said they're leaving legacy testing solutions, legacy performance testing solutions, and they're heading to open source. Care to comment in terms of why you think all these organizations are saying that they're moving from legacy and going to open source?
So as we mentioned, it's part of transitioning into agile, into continuous testing. You need to involve more people in the testing project. So you can get like 20% more with better tools, but obviously if you have the developers participating in that step, you get a lot of more people to contribute to those testing efforts. So it's hard to get developers to decide on what the tools they want. So the obvious reason is that let's move to open source and have them decide on their own which tool suits them best.
Right. Now, Sophia, one of the things that we talked about in another video was the fact that it's really not that easy to move from legacy to open source. Tell us why that is.
Well, yeah, there are a lot of challenges. The main one is the cultural change, that shift. It's everything about shifting today, but there's a need to be a cultural change inside of the organization. After that happens, you start looking for what tools they need, and then that's, I think, where open source plays a big role, because it really enables this shift to happen. Yeah. And that's why they're looking for these solutions.
So let's think about the average development organization and all the scripts that they might have. I mean, are there hundreds? Are there thousands?
Sometimes, yeah. If you think about like enterprises, they have like hundreds of scripts there, probably maybe like at least 50 or more, which is up to date, like from the last recent year. And now they need to go and adjust those scripts to another tool, which is always a hard way to do it. You need to transform between two tools, gaps between the tools, like idea how you approach. And it's not an easy task, but luckily for them, we are here.
Okay, so what you have to show us today is a script converter, and what they can do is you're telling me that they can take a LoadRunner, VueGen, and TrueClient script, and they can take that, and within minutes they can have a JMeter or Selenium script just transform them. Is it that easy? So
let's take a step back. Traditionally, what they would need to do, they will take LoadRunner, run it through a proxy, and then get like some kind of over the tunnel like overview of what happened. What's the problem with that is that if you have an if controller, if you have like a transaction controller there, you miss that logical part. And not only, also it's not really easy to run that through the proxy. You have a lot of issues with SSL, etc. So we took a different thing and we said, okay, we'll look at your script and parse them. And we decided to parse them, like to move to Taurus, because Taurus is our open source initiative. And Taurus allows me to easily shift between JMeter and Selenium. So if you're having a TrueClient script, probably you want to move to Selenium because it's a better fit for that. If you have like a web HTTP, then yeah, you'll want to work on the protocol level, so you move to JMeter. So by moving to Taurus, you can actually have those two tools. It will allow you to integrate those tools. That said, it's not like a silver lining bullet. You need to actually do some manual work sometimes. For example, if you have an if controller, the syntax is in C in LoadRunner. What we do, we take that if controller and we just give you the syntax that originally was there, so you could do that.
That sounds really interesting. Now, I'm really excited to see this tool. So why don't you show us how it works?
Okay, so we have here the script converter. And basically, you go to any LoadRunner folder. You just grab your LoadRunner folder, zip that entire scenario to a zip file, and it's as easy as just drag and drop here. And what happens behind the scene, we actually upload that script, parse it, take the .user file, go through that, take all the additional files, convert them into a YAML readable scenario. And
Now I'm seeing something
yeah.
here, Raphael, that's very interesting. It says 96% converted. What is all that about? And it also says calls to unsupported functions. Tell us what that means.
yeah, so for example, the web concurrent start was not, it was something in LoadRunner that allow you to just take a branch and then suddenly activate more threads in order to fulfill those couple of requests. And that was something that until recently you couldn't do with JMeter. But we noticed that more and more people ask for that function. So first thing we did, we developed the parallel plugin for JMeter. And now this function is actually, you could implement that inside JMeter if you go to JMeter plugins and download that. The second thing is that now we're going to include that in the converter. So right now you see that the call, because nobody had that feature in JMeter, it was unsupported. So we told you, and actually, you know what, let me just demonstrate how it works. If you download the script, we will tell you that that function is not supported. And you can see here the warning that says web concurrent start not yet supported, line 42. So what we cannot do, we simply tell you, and we will tell you where to go in order to figure out what you need to do manually. So we are 100% clarity with the users that are using.
So this has got to save organizations a lot of time in
Yeah.
converting these scripts.
Yes, definitely. And you can see here, for example, this function is not something that will affect the functionality of your script. So basically, I can just go start that test. And because that was the only feature that was not implemented, I know that my script will run and actually conduct that test. So for that specific case, I was able to move from LoadRunner to BlazeMeter with no manual work.
And what kind of response have you been hearing from people who have been using this tool?
So we had a webinar last week, and one of our customers were actually saying from their experience that more than 50% of their script got 100% converted.
Did it really?
The other ones had like around 70%. So they really appreciate the tool because it saves them a lot of time in converting those tools. Now, yeah, we have a long way to do. We don't support like, crazy protocols like Flash or something like that. But we're starting with the normal HTTP because everyone are moving to REST and HTTP-based applications. So we're implementing that.
And again, this costs them to how much to use this?
Zero. This
Zero.
is our open source embedded DNA.
Absolutely zero. So, hey, we want to encourage you to go to shiftleft.blazemeter.com. And that's it for now. Thank you very much, Raphael and Sophia, for your time and for demonstrating this free tool. Again, shiftleft.blazemeter.com. Hope to see you there.